All right. Hi, everyone. I hope you all can hear me. Am I audible to all of you? Okay, I see people are coming up in the live chat. Also, good to see you all.
नमस्कार मैं रविश
Just a second. Let me start my YouTube live chat. Yes, so I see people are putting in yes. You all can hear me. Very well. Good. Great. Cool. So we will just simply start off from where we left yesterday, right? That's a good point to get back in. Okay. So basics of Numpy. Your voice has echo. Is it so? Can some? Am I audible? Okay. Cool. Now I have added all the notes in the OneDrive. Okay. So all in one document, you will have all the notes coming in there. You will find one link. So this link will contain everything that I'm going to teach today. Okay. Be it related to NumPy, be it related to pandas or plotting things or some of the basic statistics. Before we go there, I would like to tell you all about PGDAST IGNO. There are some very good study material available online which can help you excel in your statistical knowledge. Okay. So one of the best course that I personally recommend is by IGNO University. The notes are completely free and they are at a level where a person can do self-paced study. So even if you are a beginner, even if you have just not done mathematics in past few years, but mathematics was your discipline in at least 10th standard, or for your schooling, if you have completed the mathematics with science, that foundation is more than enough, because the syllabus of foundation mathematics and statistics will cover everything for you. Even if you don't know what is an even and odd number or what is a prime or non-prime number, even that part of theory will be covered in this notes. Okay, these notes are self-sufficient for anyone who wants to understand statistics. The industrial statistics syllabuses are all for the Excel sheets, which are quite old for now. You can skip them. I will say the first four modules, even the first three modules, are very important in your journey of becoming a data analyst or data scientist, right? Without these, it is very difficult to jump into the core field. Okay. Now, this is something that I wanted to give you as a starter of this session, that for all the people who are here, try to absorb this knowledge, try to learn statistics like a professional. And this is a syllabus that you want to figure out. So again, how do you do it? I just search post-graduation diploma in applied statistics, which is PGDAST IGNO. And I get this link of eGyan Kosh. Okay, you just need to go over there. And this is where you will find all the links. If you click them, they have blocks into it, and each block is available in the PDF format. Okay. For example, unit 1, if I have to go, I can view and open this PDF. I can download this PDF, and these are the notes. Okay, like introduction from set theory, because from sets we will understand what are functions, and from functions we will understand more of the statistics coming into picture, right? So everything is available in these notes, and there you go. So all the very best in your journey of learning statistics. Now, coming back to the session coming back to the session, it is very important that you have a drive link in the chat sections, everyone, right? The Google Drive link. If you open that Google Drive link, okay, let me just try to open that link, which I've shared. You will find that I have uploaded few files right over here, right? Which are available to all of you. Just make sure that you click on a file, or maybe just you click on a file and use the download button, right? So you can download each of the file. We will need some data set that I have for you, which is again a real world data set. The problem that we are solving is also real world, which is related to EDA. Good evening to everyone. Good evening, Javed Khan. Good evening, Chaitanya. Gopal. I am listening to all of you. I am available for all of you. And let us just quickly understand what you were doing today. So today we are understanding about few basics of data analysis, like what is EDA, which stands for Exploratory Data Analysis, something like FE, feature engineering, or something like data pre-processing. What are these and why they are essential and how to apply them as a data analyst in your real world life, right? We'll talk about certain libraries like Numpy. We'll talk about Numpy, Pandas, Seaborn, Matplotlib, and we will see this code. Okay. Now, let us start off with the basics of NumPy. Now, by this point, I believe that all of you should have the code with you. I've provided everything that I've written for you in the Google Drive. Again, I'll repeat. The Google Drive is available in the chat section. You can follow that link. All-in-one document should also by now have this Drive link. Just try to open it. And if not, just at least follow what I'm doing here. So first of all, what is NumPy and what is useful, right? So I told you NumPy is nothing but a numerical computation package in Python, which is essential to work with matrices. Now we have all in our life used matrices, which are like square brackets having rows and columns, and each row and column represents a unique value or a location which contains certain value, right? So we would have a matrix of text, we could have a matrix of integers, we could have matrix of bits and bytes, right? So yes, I'll zoom in my screen a little bit for sure. Okay, let me zoom in. For some reason my control plus is not working. Let me try once again. Yes, okay, fine. Let me close the terminal for now. I believe that this is a good size for now. I'll try to zoom as much as possible. Okay, right. Cool. So at this point, what exactly is NumPy? So NumPy is used for that matrix calculations. And how do we import NumPy, right? So remember, whenever you start off with a cell, this is the notebook essentially, right? I've told you how you can create code cells, how you can create markdown cells, and how do you run things, right? So when you click on this plus code, you will get a new code file, and I've already created the code file for you. So either you can learn to use a notebook for now, or you can just use my notebook. So you can just click on this run cell, okay? And if you have not selected your interpreter from where do you want to run, you see this venv python 3.13.4. We installed yesterday this and created a virtual environment for us, right? If you're not using virtual environment, if you're using a global environment, and suppose by any chance any student is facing error that NumPy is not installed or not found, then you need to use pip install NumPy, right? Now remember, especially in Jupyter notebooks or especially in notebooks, when you have to do pip install, you have to use exclamation mark, okay? So this is not a terminal, right? This is a notebook. So in notebook, you have to install something, you need to use an exclamation mark, and that's how you can install if you're getting that error. Since I already have, I got a green tick, which means my cell was able to run. Please zoom and clear your screen. Visible screen is not visible. Is it now? Okay. Import NumPy could not be resolved getting this error. So I hope I just gave you the solution to it, right? Okay. Now, once you have done this, once you've imported NumPy successfully, let me know how many people were able to import NumPy successfully. And Raj, especially you, Raj Gurung, if you were able to mitigate this error by using pip install. All right. Now, once this is done, let us understand how we can create one-dimensional and two-dimensional arrays, first of all, to begin with. So one-dimensional array is like which has single row, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not using commas for now, but that's one-dimensional array. What is two-dimensional array, which has now two rows, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 3, something like this, right? So on the horizontal levels, like imagine you have a ruled book. So on the horizontal levels, we have rows. On the vertical levels, we have column. So first column ke andar we have value 1 and 6. Second column, we have 2 and 7. Third column, 3 and 8, and so on. First row has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second row has 6, 7, 8, 9, 3. Okay, that's how it is done. Okay, so I am getting I'm getting a chat which mentions that the clarity of screen is not there. Can someone please confirm if my screen is not visible? Because in my mobile phone where I've opened this YouTube, I think I'm able to, if I close the chat, I'm able to see the screen properly, at least for my end. Okay, let me open back the live chat. All right, so done. It's okay. All right, perfect. Cool. Maybe you can just rejoin the session or refresh your YouTube live, okay? Try to get a better network. It's clear. All right, perfect. Okay. So this is the idea of what exactly it means by array. And n, you will hear a term, n-dimensional array, okay? N dimensions means how many dimensions it has. M cross n. रोज एंड कॉलम कितने हैं लाइक इट कुड बी 3x2 मैट्रिक्स मतलब 3 रो 2 कॉलम और 3 कॉलम 2 rows. It could be variations of that, right? So that's what n dimensions mean to begin with. So in order to create the arrays, the most basic array could be one dimensional array. Imagine everything is set on x-axis, okay? That's just one dimensional. So either you can go left or you can go right, okay? So for the people who game a lot, you know, a controller has that up, down, left, right. So one dimension is only like left, right. Or maybe if you're driving car, you can either go left or you can go right, okay? That's one dimensional. So this is how you create it. NP. Okay, now what does this NP stand for? So if you have a doubt that what does this term even itself mean, import numpy as NP. So NP is the pet name, okay? Something that we want to call it. So even if I tomorrow import numpy, so import numpy as Gaurav, if I want to do that, so now I will have to mention the pet name. So my program will understand Gaurav stands for numpy, but well, that's not the correct way to do it, right? As I mentioned, your code should be self-explanatory. So there are certain pet names which are universally accepted by developers, such as for numpy we use NP. Now, why are these shortcuts or why they're useful? Of course, they save time to type a lot, right? Right. Yes. So yes, that's correct. Sir, please tell the difference. Difference in what, Aman? Can you repeat that? Okay. And imagine having a library name like matplotlib.pyplot. So typing so much, you can just use PLT as the name of it, right? So even to type numpy, you can just use NP, or you can name it whatever you want. Even if you just want to name it N, it is fine. Okay. So that's how we do it. And that's how we create an array to begin with. np.array, numpy.array. In the round brackets, you fill in the list. It could be one dimensional for now in this example. Just need to pass a single list. Passing it, if you run it, okay. When you run it, you'll be able to realize that we have created one dimensional array and its class is numpy.endDimensional array. Remember the class is nd array, okay? And the shape is 5 comma nothing. It is a one dimensional array. Hence the shape is only 5 elements, nothing more into it. All right. Once this is done, let us see how we can create two dimensional arrays. So we need to pass lists of equal number of elements. So देखो अगर पहले list में 3 elements are there, second list should also have 3 elements, which is like you will maintain the number of rows, okay? So that's how you can create a two-dimensional matrix. And once you run it, you will realize that we have created a 2D matrix now. See column 1, column 2, sorry, row 1, row 2, and they are all encapsulated inside a bigger bracket, okay? So first bracket open, you write first row, then you write second row, then close the bracket, okay? So first bracket open, you write first row, second row, or how many rows you want, 3, 4, 5, 8, how many rows you want, and then close the final bracket. So this is holding a two-dimensional matrix. Similarly, you can go 3-dimensional, you can go 4-dimensional, 5-dimensional. How do you realize how many dimensions there in the matrix? One way is you can use ndim. This is the parameter, and to find the number of dimensions, matrix dot or the numpy array dot ndim will give you the dimensions. Or else just from the printing, you can realize if there are 2 brackets, it means it's 2-dimensional. 5 brackets, it means 5-dimensional. Okay, so each bracket will open up into sub bracket into sub bracket into sub bracket. That's how you keep on increasing the dimensions. Okay. And mostly we'll find that 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional matrices are a lot useful. 2D are something which is majoritarily useful because 2D is where your data lies. Excel sheets, SQL data, database ka data, everything lies in two-dimensional, where no SQL can go into three-dimensional sometime, okay, and a little bit complexity here, and the graph could go into multi-dimensions. But mostly जो data analysis का data है वो आपको 2D के अंदर मिलेगा. All right. Now, let me just confirm if I'm losing in any chat. No, I don't think so. We are very good on the chat also. Right. So again, the data type is integer 64. That's what my matrix contains. And this is how Numpy is useful in creating certain matrices. Okay. Now, we can do certain operations on matrix, again, the Numpy arrays. And remember, it is really useful to understand how metrics work or how matrices work. Okay, having the theoretical knowledge of how to add two vectors or how to add two matrices, how to multiply them, what is cross multiplication, scalar multiplication, okay, and what's the difference in dot product, cross product can definitely help you ace your game in understanding your data, right? So let us create a variable which is like numpy array and another variable which is another numpy array which is a and b. So we can add them, okay? I'll show you element wise multiplication and the scalar multiplication. How does it work? So remember a plus b, what happened? So first element of a and first element of b got added and we got a new matrix which is addition of both. So similarly 2 plus 5 is 7 and similarly 2 multiplied by 5 is 10, which is here, okay? And scalar multiplication, well, for now we can simply multiply a with 2. So you see I'm doing what? A multiplied not with another matrix but with a scalar value, like any constant value, like 2. So everything inside a will be multiplied by 2. So 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, and 3 becomes 6. That's the idea of scalar multiplication. Now again, you can broadcast with two-dimensional arrays. Like for example, if you have a two-dimensional array like this, you can simply print the matrix. You can print the scalar, which is 10, and you can do matrix plus 10. So everything in the matrix is added with 10. So 1 becomes 11, 2 becomes 12, 3 becomes 13, and so on, right? So this is the benefit of having Numpy, because Numpy is really useful to work around with the arrays. Are there any doubts and questions till this point? I'll be more than happy to answer them. Let me check if I'm missing on anything. For now, we are good. I open up chats. Okay. Let me know, if you're following things and if there are any doubts. This way, I'll at least know that my YouTube video is not stuck. Okay, if the chats keep on coming in. Right. Good. Now the next thing is. I think I'll skip broadcasting. Few more examples I've given you. I wanted to give you an elaborative notebook to begin with, but I'll rest it over here, right? Let us understand few things. Now, yesterday, I realized that we could have talked a little bit about how to slice strings, how to slice lists, okay? But understanding slicing concept here will do the same purpose, okay? So any iterable object like a string or a list or a NumPy array. So first of all, let us understand what is the difference between the list and a NumPy array. I'll not put much head there, right? I don't want to lose a lot of time in explaining these things. So simply, list, what happens is that the data is stored in different memory blocks. I don't want to explain you how memory blocks work for a RAM. But for NumPy, everything is stored in the neighboring memory block. So it is much faster to load, okay? Just understand this in simple English. Okay, NumPy is much faster when it comes to array work, okay? So to create these matrices and to work with them like multiplication, division, subtraction, okay? It is very important that you use NumPy for such calculations, okay? All right. Can you tell the name of the debugger? Well, I'm using basic VS Code and the VS Code debugger, nothing more than that. Okay. All right. Cool. Let's move ahead. Now, what is slicing? So we all have celebrated birthdays. We slice the cake. What is slicing a cake? It is nothing but cutting a chunk out of the complete thing, right? So imagine if I have a list, imagine if I have an array, imagine if I have anything like a string, list, array, and or a tuple to begin with. What I can do is maybe I just want elements starting from a third index to 10th index. I can cut this part and take it separately. So let me create a data array, okay, Numpy array, which is again like a two-dimensional array. It has 3 rows, first row, second row, and third row. Let me demonstrate this to you. This is our original data. Let me index only individual elements. For example, I just want the data which is at the uh, 0th row. So I have selected row number 0. So row number 0 kaun sa? I will highlight it with my cursor right over here. Ye 1, 2, 3, 4 wala is row number 0. And on row number 0, I want the first column. Remember, Python starts counting from 0. So pehla column, first column is also 0 column. I need first column, it is actually the second column for me, okay? So number 1 represents the second column. So ideally I should get 2 as the output. This is what the slicing is doing. I want data on the 0th row and the first column, which is number 2, okay? Similarly, if I need a value on the second row, so 0 row, first row, second row is our third row actually. On the third row, I need the third column, which is actually the fourth one for us. Output should be 12. And you can see we are able to slice to a cell level or element level, right? Similarly, you could slice to row levels. Like if I need first row and everything on it, so this double dot or full colon represents everything. So slicing has a language to follow. One is starting point and ending point, okay? So in the previous examples, I gave starting point as 0 and ending point as 1. So it was able to properly slice at that element. But what if I want slice to happen on everything in the 0th row? So I can mention 0th row and everything over there, okay? So it will just slice like that. -1 is again a code word of slicing which represents last. So either you can start counting from 0, like 0, 1, 2, 3, or you can start from last, which is -1, -2, -3, something like that, okay? So this is how the slicing would work. And you can see last row means this 9, 10, 12 wala. And on the last row, everything, you are able to print it. I hope the example of these values are clear over here, okay? And NumPy could be used for many different ways. These are some basic things that I'm giving you. You can slice into columns, okay? You can create sub rows. Like I need starting from 0 row to second row, but only from first to third column, not the 0th column. So I can create a smaller chunk out of the matrix. You see 2, 3, 6, 7 kahan par hai? So 2, 3, 6, 7 is right over here, right? This is where 2, 3, 6, 7 is. So I can slice a particular 2D part also, right? And that's how it will work over here. The row slicing and the column slicing, okay? Then the best part is we can reshape the matrix. But remember, if the matrix is m cross n, the reshape will be n cross m, okay? 3 row, 2 column ki matrix will convert into 2 row, 3 column ki matrix. That's what it will work. So I have a flat matrix over here, which is one-dimensional matrix. And remember, since it has 12 elements, the only logical way to slice it is आपके row or column, when you multiply them, it should result in number of elements. So 3 multiplied by 4 is 12. So this is a valid reshaping. It will happen. If I put 5 over here or 6 over here, so 6 3s are 18. It will not be able to slice it, okay? Cannot reshape array which has 12 elements into 3 cross 6 because you need 12 elements. So if I just increase my flat array to 18 and then I slice it, then it will not show an error, okay? So remember, this is how slicing can work, and you can slice into various ways, okay? 3 cross 4, I'll change the code, and you can 2 cross 6 is again valid, 6 to the 12, right? So even this shape is valid. You can even reshape from unknown dimensions, like reshape it to 4, and you don't know how many columns do you need because you're not good at maths. Just an example I'm giving you. So NumPy can do the maths for you. You just give how many desired rows do you want, okay? If it is possible to slice it like that, it will automatically understand how many rows to put over here, right? It will automatically find that 3 rows. If I do 4 into 3, it becomes 12. It will find that. And if it's not possible, maybe you cannot do it, right? If I do 5 cross 1, cannot reshape 12 into 5 into the new access values, okay? So again, you can choose the row, but the other part has to be possible in reality to convert it. Then I've given you some real life applications of NumPy, how you can use it to predict, some simulations, and the code is all with you. This is all yours, okay? Now let us go to the next code that I have for the evening, which is Pandas. All good with NumPy? So NumPy has many more modules which I skipped. Like NumPy can help you generate some random values. If you particularly look over here, I in a very subtle manner used a random value over here, right? Which is this np.arrange. So I just need to pass a range 12. It will create an array of 12 elements, and this will be random values. I could give the range also, like starting from 0 till 100. Okay, so it will try to create something like that, like starting from 0 till 100. I need 12 elements, and you see randomly it will pick these values. So again, I'll not waste time because this is not a NumPy session. All right, yeah, let's proceed. Okay, you guys will be able to catch it up. Now let us take up with pandas and let us try to learn pandas a little bit. So pandas, I will say, is the heart of data analysis. Without pandas, you cannot even survive one day as a data analyst. Okay. The point is why pandas is so useful is, remember how Excel had a boom before we had data science. It was Excel ke andar, people used to write codes, people used to follow that VBA coding language, and there was so many jobs in accountants, CA offices, in sales offices, and so much. Like Excel was like the data science of its time, right? It was the booming job that if you know how to use Excel, you can help drive decisions for companies. So similarly, Excel has a limitation, like it can handle 10 lakh, 15 lakh, 12 lakh rows at a point, okay? Which is where with the demand of big data came the rise of data science, because now you need powerful computational value to drive data analysis, which is where Pandas comes into picture. Pandas is much more scalable than an Excel, and it is, from a developer's point of view, of course, it is not as easy to use as an Excel sheet because there is no GUI to work on it, but Python to work with it, right? So, but yes, Pandas is one of the way to do data analysis. Other way could be learning the R language and following R packages, but R is much more from a statistical point of view. Learning Pandas gives you liberty to be in the data science zone than not being just data analyst. Okay, because as a data scientist, you should know machine learning also, and R is not good with machine learning. R is more popular for Python. Oh, sorry, machine learning is more popular with Python. Okay. Now moving ahead, again I will repeat that if you have a problem in installation, simply follow exclamation mark and pip install pandas. Okay, if your environment doesn't has pandas. So I have it, I'll just remove it. I'll import pandas and I'll import numpy. Okay, so numpy will be useful to handle missing values in the pandas. So an Excel sheet, when we create an Excel sheet, it is very common that we can put some cells to be missing. Okay, like there are chances. Now suppose if I have that, so in pandas I have to put it as a missing value. So numpy.nan or missing value can help us do that. It can help us generate some random data to, for now, to just do some understanding. Okay, so how do you create a Pandas series? What is Pandas series again? So Pandas series is an alternative to NumPy array. Again, it is based on NumPy. Pandas library is built on top of NumPy. Okay, so जैसे Python में list है, NumPy में array है, वैसे Pandas में series and data frames है. Series is for one dimension, data frame is for two dimension. Okay, whereas NumPy, it handles everything just by calling it ND array. ND array could be one dimensional, ND array could be any dimensions, hence n dimensional array. Whereas Pandas does it in a different way. One dimensional Pandas has a different data type known as series, which is pd.series. If I have to create it, I can name the series whatever it is. I need to define columns. Each column index name. If I don't pass it, वो 0, 1, 2, 3 use करेगा. But again, I can create a custom index and create my series over here, right? So remember, if I don't pass index, it will use 0, 1, 2, 3 by default. But if I'm passing index, that's what the index does. And maybe I have to give marks, so I can, index could be the names like Gaurav and all. So Gaurav has 10 marks and something like that. Okay, so this is where this could be useful. Now once this is done, you're able to create series. The next is how to create data frame. So data frame is very much like two-dimensional array, and it has column name and values, column name and values, column name and values. So column name and values is a very similar structure to dictionary in Pythons or hash maps, okay, in data structures. So first of all, data क्या है? पहले column का नाम is name, and inside the row you need to fill in values. Alice, Bob, Charlie, David, Eve. Remember one thing, that suppose if you are filling in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values in name, age, city, salary should also have 5 values, because Alice ka age, Alice ka city, Alice ka salary will become first row. Bob ka name, Bob's age 27, Bob's city Los Angeles, Bob's salary 85,000 will become the second row. Okay, so it has to match the rows, which is where, if at all maybe you didn't knew Eve ka salary kya hai, you didn't knew that, so you could use an np.nan, which is where I told you that Numpy will be useful to creating data frames where we have missing values. In fact, data analyst use np.nan to do placeholders just to load this data, because if I don't give it, it will throw me an error, value error, which is in Pandas data frame creation, which is again using Numpy in default. I told you Pandas uses Numpy to create this. All arrays must be of same length error, right? So which is where I can either fill in the original value or I can use np.nan. np.nan will work. You see in the output I'm getting first row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row, okay? But I could literally use the value, whatever it was, like 78,000. Now you can see the data frame is, we are calling it df over here, and this is the value of the data frame, and type is pandas.core.frame.dataframe. ये इसका data type है. What was series? pandas.core.series.series. So different data types to handle them in pandas. Okay. Shape is there are 5 rows and 4 columns, so 5 cross 4. Okay. Certain reshaping which are possible are 10 cross 2, वो भी 20 होता है, and 4 cross 5 are also there. Okay, so this is something about it. Now, and the columns right over here, right? Now, once this is done, let us try to load and do some basic selection and filtering. How do we do that in Pandas to begin with? So np.random.seed, this is useful if we have to reproduce structure again and again. For an example, if I have a dice, 1 say like a 6, we use this dice to play Ludo, right? If I'm throwing this dice, the chances of getting each number is random, right? So if I have to, for testing purpose, I don't want randomness. I want a rigid response every time I run this code, which is where np.random.seed is useful. You can put in any value like 5, 65, 76, 4. Each value will have a unique randomness to it, or a freeze ho jayegi. So okay, let me just for now comment np.random.seed and try to run it. देखो एक 101, 2, 3, 4, 5 and price randomly से populate हुए हैं. If I run it again, you see I am getting random prices, random products. Run it again, फिर data frame change हो गया. Run it again, फिर data frame change हो गया. So every time I'm running it, my data randomly populates. But if I, for testing at least, I want to keep it same, I can use seed, and every time I run it, run, the data will not change. That's the use of np.random.seed function. So why we convert them back to list? Where are we converting back to list? I'm not sure. Okay, I'll skip it for now. You can reframe your question and ask me what you want. Okay, right now this is where we generate a random data frame. Random data bana liya hai with some order IDs, products, like order ID 101 is for laptop, quantity is 3, and uska price and region, something like this, just to explain you how Pandas data frame work. Okay, then how can you slice through it? Selecting a single column. Suppose I just need to print products column, or I just need to print see types of the products. Okay, so product in the laptop, monitor, mouse, yes, I can just print column level values. But I have to select multiple columns. So see your data frame ka name, open square bracket and put in the column value, which is product. It will do it. If you have to do more than one column, double bracket use karne honge. You'll have to use double brackets. Okay. See, as a beginner, this could be a little confusing, but the more you do hands-on, which is where I'm telling you, vibe coding is सब छोड़ के खुद से जब practice करोगे, खुद का code खुद लिखो, you will do these things, है ना? Because as a fresher, I used to do these mistakes. I used to forget syntax, that double bracket आएगा कि नहीं. In fact, it's not about mugging up certain syntax. It's never about it. Okay, it's just to know that you have done it in past. For an example, I have not worked with pandas, at least in, even if I've worked with pandas, it's mostly to load the data. I've not done data analysis in past year or two, or maybe in 6 months I've not done it. So it is very okay to do mistakes, but at least I'll know what my mistake is if I've done it in past. Okay, so remember, double bracket will help you use this. So again, why I'm using seed 44, you can just rewind the video and see what's the information on seed I gave you. Okay, you will get that answer. Now this is how you can do double data, and you can just print it and product and quantity right over here, right? Filtering rows based on conditions. But I have to filter rows and conditions now. I gave you values like code how you can print different columns. Now suppose if I have to find sales data where column quantity is more than 2. Let us go to the original data first. Original data has first row, third row, fourth row, and the remaining rows with quantity greater than 2. Even this row 3. Okay, so we have to filter something like this. This is the format to do it. Sales df लिखो, ब्रैकेट के अंदर वापस sales df लिखो where quantity is greater than 2. This is the condition that you have to put in, and you'll be able to slice the data frame with that value. देखो 2 वाले सारे चले गए हैं, but you have to do 3. So I'll have only values which are bigger orders. So suppose if your manager is asking you that hey Gaurav, हमारे डेटा में से मुझे सबसे ज्यादा orders वाली sheet लाके दो, ठीक है? So how I'll do it is, first thing I will do is I will use a max function to find. So first of all, what I can do is मैं सबसे पहले तो I'll find distribution. Okay, कि सबसे ज्यादा मिनिमम ऑर्डर 1 हो सकता है, मैक्सिमम ऑर्डर मान लो एक पर्सन ने 100 का ऑर्डर डाला है. ओके, एंड देयर आर ऑर्डर्स फॉर 90, 95 एंड सो ऑन. सो मैं टॉप 5 ऑर्डर्स की रेंज क्या है मैं ढूंढ सकता हूँ, एंड देन आई जस्ट नीड टू पास दैट फिल्टर ओवर हियर. क्वांटिटी ग्रेटर देन 90 कर दूंगा तो मुझे वो मैक्सिमम ऑर्डर्स वाले टॉप 5% मिल जाएंगे. सो this is what data analysts do in their real life. Okay, they get questions from their leads, they get questions from the management, and they provide answers by doing data analysis. So if someone asks me that Gaurav, give me top 5 orders in terms of quantity, I'll have to first find quantity, top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 value, and put it like this, and this is the output I'll give to the management. So this is where I'll be using it. Now we can filter on multiple conditions, not just one. Find me price greater than 500 only for laptops. So which is where you will be using the AND logic. Okay. Okay. Now once this is done, that's the idea of how you can do certain different type of question answering. And remember people that following these concepts are the foundation of data analysis, right? If data analyst करते ही यही काम है, this is what they do. Okay, all right. Now handling missing values, again this is really a very important thing, and none of data analyst would survive without this. Why? Because real world के अंदर data is very messy. Okay, data is not clean to begin with. What do I mean by messy is for an example, if I ask you people to fill Google form for me, okay, and by mistake I couldn't create the form in a very rigid format. For example, I was asking what is a gender, और वहां पर मैंने I didn't put a coding logic that only M or F are allowed. Okay, you could write anything. Maybe you just write an integer over there, 44 or 100, 102, or maybe you write my name is something like that. So when I process this in my database, these values become missing or these values become redundant. Maybe integers आ जाएंगे gender के अंदर. So this is one example I'm giving you. What if I ask you your age and salary? So suppose your salary is 1 lakh rupees and your age is say 30. So but as a human you did mistake, आपने age के अंदर salary डाल दी. So now मेरे पास जो data आया, it is your age is 1 lakh years old and your salary is only 30 rupees. So these type of data can also be possible in real life. So which is where handling missing value, pre-processing data is very essential and important role of a data analyst. Okay. Now, how do we handle missing values? So first of all, I'll create a data frame. In fact, I remember explaining you np.nan previously also, and this is how we'll be using it to keep certain missing values in the data to begin with. I'll just print the data with missing values, and I'll check for missing values. So Pandas has a function specific to data frames only. So Pandas data frame has a function dot is na, which stands for is missing value. What it does is it returns a boolean of data frame. So जहाँ जहाँ पर true लिखा है, it means the value is available. Sorry, जहाँ जहाँ पर true लिखा, it means the value is missing, and false means the value is not missing. So just try to remember there should be 1, 2, 3 true and everything else false. But again, this is not really useful. What in reality, what I use a lot is to count number of missing values in each row. So missing values per column, this is how you do it. Dot is na dot sum. Okay, this returns me column name and how many values are missing in it. But dot is na is useful to visualize through a glance. It gives you a big picture. Okay, that's there. Now there are crucial ways to handle missing value. One is either you can drop it or you can fill it and things like that. Okay, so this is how you do it. Now you can also group by and merge data frames. I'll skip the lesson for some maybe to you, because I just wanted to explain a little bit of basics of pandas and Numpy and how we can use plotting libraries like Seaborn and Matplotlib. So I've given you some extreme elaborative explanations in these notebooks, and I've passed this code in the Google Drive. I hope you all have got it. Again, I'll comment this line. You guys also need to comment it if you already have installed these things. So see, you can use new Seaborn style, which is like there are different styles on plotting. So what is PLT to begin with? देखो मेरी library का नाम है Matplotlib. Remember I told you that libraries are compilation of multiple modules. So and I also told you how to do custom imports. So yesterday I created my calculator wala script, है ना? And from that script I imported a function. So from a library we can import a module also. Like from Matplotlib dot के बाद you're adding the module name, and ये module को हम use करना चाह रहे हैं, and we are giving it as a pet name as PLT. Okay, we are using Seaborn as SNS. What is Matplotlib and Seaborn? They are libraries which are used to visualize things. How we have Numpy to create n-dimensional arrays, how we have Pandas to work with data frame, we have Matplotlib and Seaborn to do the visualization. Okay, so again I'll create a linear data. Okay, and I'll use numpy.sine and numpy.cos to convert it into sine and cos waves, and I'll tell you how you can do linear plotting. Okay, if I run this, okay, numpy is not dependent. I need to run the first cell, and as soon as I run it, you'll see I can plot the sine and cos waves because this plotting is available. Scatter plot क्या होता है कि you can plot your x and y data points and you can visualize them. So the sine waves are also being used in scatter plots. Okay, yeah. Well, I'm okay. I'm not exactly skipping a lot of portion, students. I'm skipping things that were not part of the curriculum. Remember, my task is just to explain you what EDA is. Okay, so I can just start off with the EDA notebook and complete till the 8 p.m. So I'm just explaining a little bit more as add-on to what the syllabus is supposed to be. So bear with us because we have a limitation of 8 p.m. I have to cover a few things. These are just add-ons that I'm trying to explain you. Okay, histogram. So histogram is again one different type of chart which can help you plot histogram of different data, right? So this is again one part, and then suppose if you have to create a single plot which has different figures into it, which is where subplots come into picture. So first of all, dot figure is used to explain what is the dimension of your complete canvas, okay, in which I can use subplot. Okay, so this stands for row, this stands for column, and this stands for the plot number. Okay, on the first row, second column plot this, and on first row, second column, second figure plot this. Okay, so this will give me single row क्योंकि देखो row 1 ही रह गए हैं 1 के अंदर, 2 is like column. Okay, and these are like numbers of it. So again, if I plot it, I'll get 1 row and 2 columns, subplot 1, subplot 2, both in single image. Okay. Similarly, Seaborn, which is again very useful to run different type of plots. And Seaborn, I personally like it because Seaborn plots are much more visually appealing than the regular Matplotlib. But Matplotlib is very standard. Okay, you can plot so many varieties of plots like box plots. Box plots are useful when you understand the concept of percentiles. Okay, I have a statistics hand-on notebook. I'm not sure if I created something into it. Okay, you can try to understand what is mean, standard deviation, and things which are very crucial. I'll also walk you through a few of them. Now, with this being said, let us start off with what we are exactly supposed to do, which is EDA, right? Now, I changed a little bit strategy for today's live is that rather than me wasting time typing the code, I wanted to cover a lot of things. So which is where I created the code in the morning itself and I have wrapped it into Google Drive. Everything is available. Let me just walk you through a few concepts. Like now you understand what is Pandas. Now you understand what is Numpy. You understand what is plotting all about. So at least by this point, if you are aware of what Matplotlib, Seaborn, and Pandas does, you are doing good, and the agenda of the session is working for you. Then, right? Okay. Now, by this point, you should understand what is pre-processing, and I give you ample of examples while explaining Pandas that what is pre-processing. It is about before even we start with analysis, we need to make sure our data is clean. It doesn't have missing values, it doesn't has any bogus or garbage values. For example, our age cannot be 1 lakh. Okay, so I have to fix that. And there are different ways to check it. Okay, so let us start off with few basic concept of statistics if I'm able to quickly cover that. One is central tendency. Okay, even before going there, I'll just explain it right over here. Central tendency is a concept where we try to find average value of the given data. Okay, suppose if I have salaries of 1,000 people, uh, I can try to find where is the average, where is the central part, which is जहां से लोअर सैलरी और हाई सैलरी के बीच का एक एरिया मिल जाए मुझे कहीं. So which is where mean, median, mode are concepts of central tendency. Okay, so mean is finding the average, mode is finding the most repetitive value. So mode is useful जब आपका data categorical है, which is like string values. Okay, like colors red, blue, green. तो वहां पर हम काउंट कर सकते हैं सबसे ज्यादा कलर कौन सा था. रेड था तो मोड रेड हो गया, समथिंग लाइक दैट. Whereas median is like आपको असेंडिंग से डिसेंडिंग ऑर्डर में ऐसे अरेंज करना होगा आपको डेटा को, एंड देन द मोस्ट मिडिल वैल्यू आपका मीन बन जाएगा. एवरेज इज यू ऐड ऑल ऑफ देम एंड डिवाइड बाय द नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स, दैट्स एवरेज. ओके, मोर लाइक अरिथमेटिक एवरेज. वैसे ज्योमेट्रिक और हार्मोनिक मीन भी हो सकते हैं, but again we are not doing statistics over here. Now moving ahead, this is central tendency. Then what is variance and deviation to begin with? So for an example, I'll just quickly add up a cell just to give you an example. For example, A has salary 100, B has salary 120, C has salary say 130. Okay, so if you have to find mean is equals to what? A plus B plus C divided by 3, and let me see, mean is what? 166. Let me round it off. Okay, I'll say round this value. So this is 117. Okay, so let me explain you what is variance of 100. So variance कैसे find होता है? So let me print it to you. Just a second. Print. No, okay, this is garbage value. I'll explain you what variance is in very simple terms. Variance होता है कि मेरे mean से मेरा data कितना दूर पड़ा है. What is my mean? So I'll do variance is equals to for example mean minus A. Okay, and I'll say print variance of A is this. Variance of A is 17. क्यों? क्योंकि मेरा मीन क्या निकला था? 117. So if I have to predict something, what is सपोज मुझे ए की वैल्यू प्रिडिक्ट करनी है, मान लो ये सैलरीज है ना, ये 100 मतलब 1 लाख हो गया, मान लो 1 लाख, 1,20,000, 1,30,000। अब मेरे पास एक प्रिडिक्शन वैल्यू क्या है, मेरे पास प्रिडिक्शन वैल्यू है 1,17,000, 117 के हिसाब से। सो फॉर ए आई प्रिडिक्ट 117। ये बहुत बेसिक मॉडल बन गया है, लेकिन लीनियर रिग्रेशन से भी एक स्टेप डाउन बन गया एक मॉडल, बस मीन वाला मॉडल। तो मैं किसी भी बंदे के लिए 117 ही आंसर देने वाला हूँ, क्योंकि चांसेस क्या है कि मैं सबसे करेक्ट आंसर क्या दूंगा, क्योंकि जो सबसे सेंटर में होगा, है ना। सो दैट्स वेयर द मीन इज। तो वेरिएशन क्या हो गया कि आपके मीन से कितना दूर आपका एक्चुअल आंसर था। तो 117 से 117 पॉइंट्स दूर था। ओके, so similarly we have to create variance of b. It will be mean minus b. Okay, and I'll say underscore a, and I'll say print variance of b and this, and you will realize okay, I'll say absolute value round off this. So you will realize that variance of 120 क्या है, हमारा आंसर 117 था, but actual आंसर क्या था 120. So there's a variance of 3. So this is what variance is, and actually ये standard deviation है, this is standard deviation, and variance is something around it. Okay, but I'll not touch those concepts for now. But आपको समझा दिया कि variation क्या होता है, आपके ओरिजिनल, आपकी प्रिडिक्शन वैल्यू से आपका एक्चुअल आंसर कहाँ है, और उसके बीच में जो एरर है ना, उसको हम डेविएशन बोलते हैं, और एरर भी बोल सकते हैं उसको हम, ठीक है। रिग्रेशन एरर या डेविएशन क्या है, क्या हमारा डेविएशन कितना 3 पॉइंट्स का है, हमारा डेविएशन कितना है 17 पॉइंट्स का है, समथिंग लाइक दिस इज व्हाट वेरिएंस एंड स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन इज। वेरिएशन बस स्टैंडर्ड डेविएशन का स्क्वायर होता है, एंड इट इज यूज। अब वो क्यों स्क्वायर होता है, सो अगेन स्टैटिस्टिक्स में नहीं जा रहे, बट स्क्वायर इसलिए होता है ताकि हम वी कैन विजुअलाइज ऑन अ लार्जर स्केल, लाइक 3, 3, 4, 5 आर नॉट दैट बिग नंबर एज 9, 16, 25 आर। तो 9 और 16 में डिफरेंस भी ज्यादा समझ में आता है, राइट, एंड 16, 25 में डिफरेंस भी ज्यादा समझ में आता है। Hence variance is useful when you have to visualize आपका एरर कितना ज्यादा चेंज हो रहा है, क्योंकि स्क्वायर्ड नंबर्स बड़े हो जाएंगे। That's the only point. Now with this being said, let us just remove it, let us just delete this block, let us go back to where we are. All right, now I explained you how do we do pre-processing. We have to find certain values like mean, median, mode क्या है, standard deviation क्या है, distribution क्या है, data की distribution is again like उसके लिए परसेंटाइल समझना चाहिए, लाइक व्हाट इज 25th परसेंटाइल, 50th परसेंटाइल, 75th परसेंटाइल। ओके, लाइक मीन तो क्या होता है 50th परसेंटाइल मीन होता है, तो 50 और 100 के बीच का जो मीन होगा वो 75th परसेंटाइल होता है, 0 और 50 के बीच का मीन 25th परसेंटाइल होता है। ओके, लाइक 0 से 50 का एवरेज और 50 से 100 का एवरेज वो 25 और 75 एक्सप्लेन करते हैं, 50 आपके 0 से 100 का एक्सप्लेन करता है, समथिंग लाइक दैट। ओके, सो वंस दिस इज डन, यू विल इंपोर्ट ऑल द essential libraries. Missing number is again not a very essential library, but at least these 4 are core package of data analysts. Okay, you'll have to read the data. So data को read करने के लिए till this point, if you remember, we were using dummy data जो हम बना रहे थे in the form of dictionaries. We were getting dictionaries and then we were loading into the pandas data frame. Now if you have to load data from external sources, could be like CSVs or Excel sheets. So there are different functions in pandas. Like if you type pandas.read underscore, you will realize read from clipboard, read from CSV, Excel, HDF, HTML, JSON, and so on, and pickle files. But if I have to read a CSV, because the data set that I've given you, it is in .csv file, you have to pass the path. And remember to add a R if you are using Windows, because Windows the slash is considered as a reserved value, because /n/t convert into tab and next line, right? So just to eliminate that, use R or use double slashes, even that is fine. Okay, however you want to do it. So once you have read the data, so DS is my data set, or you can call it data frame. It is a pandas data frame by default. Okay, pd.read CSV or read Excel or anything converts everything into data frame. So ds.head is a built-in keyword or built-in feature of pandas, which can print by default first 5 rows. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, ये first 5 rows हो गए. If I pass 3, तो ये first 3 कर देगा. If I pass 2, ये first 2 कर देगा. And if I pass 20, so ये first 20 print कर देगा, something like this. Okay, and it is scrollable. So But if I do not pass any value into the head, it will simply give me the output. It will help me realize what my data is all about. है ना? Like suppose if I do not have a GUI, something where I can just open up this Excel sheet. So right click, reveal in File Explorer. If I just open it, you will realize that this is what my data looks like. है ना? And in Excel, I can view it like this. So again, a little premise I'll set for you. Let me just close it. I don't want to see it here. We are using big market company का real world data set. Okay, it has sales data collected from 1559 locations for the year 2013. Okay, and they want to do some analysis on it, right? Yeah. No, without Pandas package, no. Maybe if you are into other tools like Tableau use kar rahe ho, you're using Power BI, then you can simply do all this in those tools also. You can do everything in Excel also, right? But if you have to do it through data science, then Pandas is the way. Okay. Now coming back, you have loaded data set and you are able to view it. Again, item identifier, maybe this is like a barcode or code, something, a reserved code to identify that item weight. Now we don't have the units to it, but that's fine to us. Okay, not a very important, maybe not a very important column at this point to me. Item fat content. Okay, I can do some good analysis around this. Maybe so data analysis is all about working like a CID or working like a raw FBI agent and try to think in all possible ways. It is a very creative field to begin with. People who love solving challenges, puzzle, quiz, think differently, think creatively, think innovatively, and to find beautiful ways to express a story out of data. That is where data analysis is all about, and that's ED, actually exploratory data analysis. We are exploring different ways to work or talk with this data. Okay, so maybe I just by looking at this data, I can think of few questions. What if I try to find percentage of items which are low fat category, percentage which are in regular, and maybe print a pie chart out of it? It's a good analysis for me. So based on business people will give you questions that they want, and as a data analyst you will have to find answers like this. So items visibility, again, if you remember, if you're not aware, so big markets like DMart or any other competitor like that, Reliance Fresh, they charge brands value to keep their item in a visible rack, and rather than keep it in some end of the store, to keep it in the front, there's a different price of that, the something like that. So maybe item visibility is about that. Item type, it is soft drink, dairy, meat, household. Price, again, this could be in dollars or anything. The outlet identifier, okay, this is again different branches, DMart of Gurgaon, DMart of Delhi, DMart of Mumbai, something like that. Outlet establishment year and outlet size, maybe we have DMart Express, we have complete DMart, something like that. Again, this is big mart to begin with. It could be Walmart for people out of India. Outlet location type, is it in tier 1 city, tier 2 city, and is it a supermarket or grocery store? Like we have Reliance Fresh, we have Reliance digital stores and things like that. An item outlet sales, how much is this uh, outlet earning for me? Few of the interesting questions here could be, give me the best performing outlet that I ever have, give me the underperforming outlet that I have, how many outlets are in loss, how many in profit. So much things to talk around with data, right? So this is about just loading the data set, and I hope we are now comfortable understanding what our data is going to talk. So two of the very important module or functions which data analysts use are info and describe. Let's see what they do. So ds.info is used to explain a lot of things about the item type, okay, and few things here and there. Let me just make it a scrollable item, okay. So outlet size, okay, and just a second, this item is little too big for now. Okay, so info gives us certain outputs like what is the data type, okay, and what is the count and things like that, okay. Whereas describe is useful for statistical inferences. You remember I told you 25th percentile, 50 percentile, mean, median, mode, and all of that. So describe will not directly work on categorical values. Do we have certain categorical values with us? Yes. Item fat content ये categorical है, ये string है ना. So wherever you find string, it is categorical. One shortcut to remember like that. Anything which is number like identifier नहीं चलेगा, fat count नहीं चलेगा. But still, for now we can just run it df.describe. You automatically describe unhi, it will automatically describe those columns which are of number types. So item weight, what is the count total? It is summing it up, okay, like count something like that, and the number of rows maybe which are available. Mean, it is finding the average. Standard deviation, which means that my minimum and maximum are plus minus 4.6 from 12, है ना? So 12.8 plus 4.6 would be 15.4 something. इतना maximum मेरा value जाएगा, and this is what standard deviation would help. Minimum will help me something like this, maybe this is something like that. 25 percentile, 50 percentile, 70 and the max value. Okay, so minimum और max value भी print हो रहा है यहाँ पर, mean भी print हो रहा है, standard deviation is also coming into picture. Okay, and then we have 50 and 70 percentile. For each column we have such analysis. This being said, let us start off with okay, there are certain doubts. Let me handle that. Type mean, it calls of its data type. Same data. I also think data type. Type used to find the data type. Yes. Right. Type is a reserved Python keyword. It has nothing to do with pandas or numpy. Okay. Suppose this is hello. Suppose this is 10. Suppose this is pd dot data frame. So if I say print type of A is type A, type of B, and type of C, you will realize type only returns me what type of data type it is. A is a string, B is an integer, and C is a pandas.code.frame.numpy. Okay, sir, how will we get certificates after this program? Well, day one you were explained that. Just one time I'll repeat it. All-in-one documents के अंदर there is a site, you can follow it, you can mark your attendances. Once your attendance is thorough, even for third day you mark it, then automatically the certificate will be generated to download from there. Okay, yes. Now anyways, I'll say more than the certificate focus here, because a certificate is useful as a fresher, I get it, but this is more useful to land a job. Okay, now moving ahead, let us understand few things about data exploration also, right? Table पे type. अच्छा, table पे अच्छा okay, you mean over here, right? Yes. So info के अंदर, if you are saying this type, it is explaining the type of the outlet. अच्छा, this is the column name actually. If you are thinking about underscore type over here, ना, these are column names. So column name के अंदर ही underscore type है सब जगह पे. So that's the type you're getting in the table, and info also gives the type by default as in the output. Okay, sir, without object shall we run the program? Yes, I think you can simply run everything. My notebook should be runnable. Sir, where can I get this data to practice? I have shared the link in Google Drive. I will also ask the moderator to reshare this link once again in chat. Okay, this drive link will be available to you all. You can just find it again and again. Okay, so one more time, the moderator will share this with you in the live chat. Now let us talk about data exploration. Okay, so here we will perform some EDAs. So what do you have to do? Certain value counts. So by item identifier. Okay, so what is this? There's a question that find how many different type of item identifiers do I have and in what repetitions. So in this complete data set, FDW13 repeats 10 times, so does FDG33, and something like this, right? It is observed that item identifier has 115 unique items. So there are 115 unique variations of these values. Okay, of course, by the output cannot print 1500 rows to begin with. So which meant dot dot hai, but it is giving me top and the bottom of this output, and everything is into integer 64. Okay. Now, similarly, I can try to plot few things. So first of all, I'll select color. So SNS is my Seaborn library. Dot color palette is like selecting a color, okay, and drop NA and only pick unique. So item fat count, drop NA does what? Removes all the missing values. Dot unique only picks up the unique values, no repetitions. So I'm using label something like this, okay, and I'm creating a figure. You know what is figure? You're explaining the canvas size 18 cross 10. Then I'm creating a subplot which says what is the title of my subplot? Item fat content percentage, and I'm creating a pie chart over here, right? Using this value counts, labels, colors, and the percentage of precision. Okay, and again a subplot item fat content bar chart, and I'm printing a bar chart again, something like this. And tight layout means the map will be a little tighter, okay, and when I print it you will realize I have very good visualization just by copying this from here or downloading it into my local drive and then using it into a presentation. This is what a data analysis does, right? Sir, is CSD or AID is better to take in BTech? I will say your choice completely. Whatever you want your output to be. Okay, there's no comparison as such. Okay, both are good. Sir, where can I get this practice data set? I hope you got the drive link. Now again, we were able to visualize these things, right? And just by looking at this chart, isn't it really so informative that 59.7% is low fat and regular is 33.9? And what are the distributions? Like I have at least 5,000 plus items in low fat, almost 3,000 in here, and LF regular, few variations like this right over here, right? Now, ideally, we are not doing a lot of data analysis over here, but if you use your brain, you will realize that maybe LF and the lower low fat are also low fat. So ये भी data pre-processing का step है. I have to convert values, मतलब dot replace use करना पड़ेगा in data frame. I have to say dot replace wherever it is written capital LF as low fat and replace dot smaller lowercase low fat with upper lowercase l low fat, so that things become standardized. And I think REG also converts to regular, so things like that can also be then later on converted and processed. Okay, we can do the same with different item types. We can try to say that plot a graph with different item types. And how we are doing it, first of all, we are setting a color which is crest. So crest is like this green shade wala color, okay, and that's how we set it. We can also set anything over here, like I think rainbow is also a color which we can use. And if I print it, you will realize that it is in rainbow now, okay. And so you can always go to SNS color palette and try to find how many colors are there in the parameters. You can read from here, okay, or you can go to the library on the Google, search all available colors. Labels kya hai? Items, item type. This is something that I'm typing, which you can see over here, item type percentage, and the labels right over here, right? And I'm creating a figure. I'm putting a title, which I just showed you, and labels, I'm getting it from the column, which has labels. And I'm creating a pie chart, which is very useful to explain the percentage. You will realize that soft drinks have a bigger market than meat. Even dairy has bigger market than meat. Then there is dairy and fruits. So mostly almost 50% of a supermarket runs on dairy, soft drink, meat, and fruits and vegetables. Seafood, अगर मैं मेरे store में नहीं भी रखूं, so it doesn't impact me because only 0.75% of items are in that category. So to answer this, to keep it or not, then I will have to see that how much I'm earning from seafoods, because seafood is an expirable item, right? And if I'm not earning much, maybe I'll just not keep it. So this is how data analysis are done, right? Okay, cool. So I think you people are really enjoying it, and I can see it in the chats. Good, fair enough. Similarly, I can create bar charts. I explained you in the previous cell also. We can use different color formats since I'm using this, and I can also visualize the same data like this. Okay. Now this is few things I can now. One thing is that we can also identify certain parameters outlet and identify percentage, right? That outlet 010 kitne hai, outlet 018 kitne hai, and then what are the different variations in it can also be identified like this. This is repetitive, right? I have explained you how to draw pie charts, bar charts. Now you can draw it for whatever you want. This is your creativity. As I told you, this field is creative and completely depends upon you. And outlet size percentage ka agar pie chart चाहिए तो something like this, okay? And okay, all right. So the same code. I think I'll not explain anything here because the same colors के अंदर हम palettes pass कर रहे हैं palettes के अंदर, and this is the distribution. Like it is equivalently distributed, right? If you not even equivalently, but at least medium size outlets are something that works a lot, and high outlets also. Smaller also considerable size. Even just by visualizing it, you can see it, right? And similarly, we can create tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities, how many outlets I have. So again, I'm very much into all the level of cities. So even in some good developing towns or coming up cities, mid-tier cities, I have good presence. Okay. Then outlet percentage by supermarket type 1, type 2, and grocery stores. Again, supermarket type 1 is a majority share for my company. And then grocery store is again a decent 11 percentage, something like that, right? Then how do you identify column which are categorical and non-categorical? I think describe and info does the same thing for you. But once I've done it, what I can do is I can identify continuous columns. Again, a concept of statistics. What is the difference between discrete and a continuous variable? So discrete variable वो होता है which has fixed step to jump in between, right? So one is, for an example, number of people attending this session. So right now there are almost like 100 people in the live chat. We cannot have 100.25 or 100.256 or 100.5, right? आधा person कहाँ से लाओगे? Like missing from the stomach? That's not possible, right? Half, one-fourth, three-fourth human is not possible. Similarly, if I have to buy cold drink, I cannot go to a store and say, give me 1 can of Red Bull and just 3 drops from the other can. Okay. Either you buy 1 can, you buy 2 can, right? That's a discrete count. After 1, there could be 2. After 2, there could be 3. Like there is no value between 1 and 2. That's discrete variables. Continuous variables, which could have any possible value in between. For an example, height. A person could be 5 foot 10 inch. A person could be 5 foot 11 inch. But a person could also be 5 foot 10.5 inch, or 5 foot 10.55 inch, or 10.5.55678. It's a continuous value, infinite possibility between two values. That's a continuous range. So once we identify that, we can simply do some analysis on it. We can find their mean, variance, mode, standard deviation, and continuous distributions are something that we can. Histogram is really useful at continuous distributions, right? Just to understand that mean kahan ban raha hai. So how do we do it? First of all, for each column, see, I'm using histogram plot. From where do we get the data set? From DS, and item weight ke liye, okay, color and everything, axis 0, 0, 0, 1. I'm putting in different axes. So 0, 0 pe item weight aa raha hai, which means first column, first row, and 0, 1 means where item visibility is, which means 0 column, first row. Shall we find the one row of the same variable? Yeah, we are basically finding the distribution here, okay, with histograms. So again, these are few interesting ways in which you can do it. Since 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm printing 5 values, and I created a subplot of 3 cross 2. So the last row, last column is a blank output. It has nothing into it. Because I only wanted to print 5 values. All right. That's how you do box plots. Then maybe box plots are things which help me identify my outliers. Okay. So let's take for an example. I'll give you an example. I'll explain you what an outlier is right over here. Okay. So example A has Suppose A has salary 100, B has salary 110, uh, C has salary 105, uh, D has salary as 115, and E has salary as 110000. Okay, so now if I have to find mean, so mean would be A plus B plus C plus D divided by okay, I'll put it in round brackets, divided by 5. Okay, and then if I print mean, so what is the mean? 22,086, which means that according to me, every person on an average earns 22,000. Okay, but that's not a possibility for my normal people, right? Imagine if we remove Adani Ambani from our country, then average salary is very less. You get that point? Similarly, outliers are some exponential cases, or you can say extraordinary cases, or cases maybe which are either by mistake or cases which are too extraordinary to have. So such things should be avoided in data analysis, right? So what I'll have to do is I'll have to carefully identify an outlier and eliminate it. Now my mean is much more practical. If you see, oh, I'll have to divide it by 4 then. So now my mean is very much possible because A is also near 107, B is also there, C is also there, and D is also there. So outliers can be visualized by a box plot. They are outlier killers, I will say. Okay, you need to understand interquartile range. So ये जो tail बनती है ना, like you see there is a box in between and then there are two tails. If there is anything about tail, like if you see in that blue figure item visibility, there are so many doubts which are out of that tail. So this, if you are getting such output in your diagram, which means there are outliers in your item visibility, and then you can check above 75th percentile and 25th percentile, and then you can simply eliminate outliers. Item outlet sales have also so many outliers because maybe the average sales which outlet is doing is somewhere around 1800 1900 according to this box, but some outlets are doing more than 12,000 10,000, and there are some really good performing sales, but it doesn't represent our entire population. So which is where we can mitigate outliers like this. And yes, Gopi, this could be your mini project. I have given you the complete code. You can learn it, visualize it. You can do certain data pre-processing around it, how group bys work. Again, I've added whatever I wanted, and I've given you a lot of code, right? Something which was not even supposed to be the part of syllabus, but I've given you more than that as I promised. Okay. So how do we handle outliers? Okay. So first of all, item visibility has outliers. We have seen that. Okay. So we can create a log format and NP square root. Again, this is the concept of statistics, but there are different ways to handle it. And we can then simply try to eliminate it. Okay. But I would say there are different ways. Let's not waste time into understanding how to do that. You can just simply learn quickly what are outliers and how to handle them. Okay, maybe you can just eliminate those rows to begin with if you have a good data set amount. Then exploratory data analysis is all about what we did, okay, and maybe find items by fat content, okay, and then plot it. So again, this is not a pie chart, but this is more like a pie with center into it, right? So that's where we are adding that touch into this diagram, and I'm showing you how you can beautifully use it. Okay, so where on the outer circle we have the name of that category, in the inner circle we have percentages, right? These are also very interesting charts that we can draw, and here is the EDA coming out of it. I've put it in the charts right over here, right, in the comments. Then you can do histograms again and again. So this is all about EDA, and this is what I was supposed to teach you today, right? So if there are any doubts, if there are any questions that I can handle for tonight, we can throw them, else I would say we are done for the day. All right, so relatable, Gopi, Rose, Bitu, and Jignesh, I think I have seen your comments. Let me just reload my live chat. All right. So just a recap, students, for the people who were not there in the start, I explained you how you can do statistics, right? IGNOU, post-graduation diploma in applied statistics, PGD AST. Go over here. This is egancoach.ac. This is the website you want to go for. egancoach, post graduation diploma in applied statistics. The first four modules are much more sufficient. They will take at least 2-3 months for you to practice. They are good books, good amount of books, but this is the best source. This is gold for learning statistics. Okay, just go on, start with the first block, first unit, and learn from there. Okay, then you have this complete data set, the notebooks to learn few things. Okay, I couldn't work much on statistics underscore hands on Python. I didn't have much time in the day, but I tried to cover a lot of things in different notebooks. Okay, so I think that's all for now. We are done with the session. We can stop over here. Thank you so much all for joining in today. And tomorrow we are stepping into the world of machine learning. So thank you. Bye.